So join us. Let's listen patiently and then take note of our questions. When Patrick is done with his presentation, we are going to have the question and answer. Let me ask that please, while the session is going on, don't interrupt by sending questions on the picture. I don't miss your question. We appreciate that we wait till the end of the presentation before we start asking our questions. All right, so at this point, I'm going to yield the microphone to Patrick. Patrick, if you please mic check. Are you there, Patrick?
Yeah, hi, good evening, Thomason. Please kindly confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining us this afternoon to do this session. All right, so you have the floor now. You can take it from here.
All right, thank you very much, Thomason. Okay, can everyone see me? Yeah, good evening,
Yeah, yes, I
everyone.
can see you.
All right, good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for coming today, for joining this particular session. And it's so good to see that there's a community of vibrant data professionals, data enthusiasts, and thought leaders in the data space that are here today. And I want to believe and enjoying that we have a good collaborative walkthrough today as we delve into this topic. So I just want to say that I don't know it all. So coming today is just for us to just synergize and for us to just talk deeply about the topic and share my own experience. And just like Oluwatomisin has said, when it's time for maybe discussions or questions, as it might seem, then others can also put their own input. So I'll be sharing my screen very quickly, and please let me know when you can see my screen. Thank you. Okay. Please, Tomise, can you just confirm you can see my screen? Hi, Tomise, are you there? Can you confirm you can see my screen?
You can see your screen. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. So once again, I want to appreciate everyone for joining this evening, and I'll be talking on effective storytelling for data insight. And just a quick introduction of myself. I am Patrick Omolani. I work as a data analyst with Signal Alliance Consulting. And what Signal Alliance Consulting does, as it might seem, is I work in a consulting firm where we consult and we profile solutions to technology solutions to other organizations. So in context, it's just simply or basically called like a B2B consulting firm. So what we do is that we offer technology solutions to other organizations. So I happen to be in the data department. So we offer all ranges of technology solutions, be it on cybersecurity, be it on cloud application development, be it on business application development, anything, be it on infrastructure, networking, anything. So that is just the sum of what the company I work for does. All right, so our table of content this evening, we are going to talk about storytelling in general, how for us to be able to start effectively in telling our story based on our reports that we want to give to a particular stakeholder or a particular our audience, as it might seem. So we need to be able to understand the audience we are telling the story to, define the narrative of our story, how we are going to collect the data, visualizing the data effectively, building the narrative, and engaging the audience, then the storytelling proper itself, and the pitfalls, which happens to be that some mistakes that people often make when reporting their data or when telling their data. So this is the table of content. So very quickly, I'll be talking on storytelling and why it matters in data analysis. I understand very well that a lot of us here might have at one time or the other maybe built a particular dashboard or report, as it might seem. And you know, from the start where you collect your data to the point where you clean your data, you remove null values, remove null columns, you proficiently explore the data, and you're able to like derive the accurate result, or give a good and accurate, or you are able to give your data already has the integrity, as it might seem. Then you now provide the report based on maybe the specifications that you have been given to follow by. You get right from that point where it is seen in its crude form or in its raw form, till when it eventually becomes a useful information that someone can pick it up and say, wow, so these are what we have been doing for so period. These are what we have been doing for so time. As we know now, June is almost ending in a few days, and we know that some organizations already started making plans for H2 or Q3, as it might seem. So they will have looked at their projection and say, okay, if we had done so and so from H1, which is from January to June, okay, I believe we should be able to make so with this. How were they able to do that? They're able to look at, okay, this is what each particular department is doing. Someone has sat down, collect this data, and I'll be able to do what? To sit down together and put this data together. And with that, they can now use it to drive the organization forward through making what? Informed decision. So why does storytelling itself, why does this matter in data analysis? There are just three categories. The first one is what? It engages the audience. The second one, it simplifies the complex data. And the third one is what? It drives action and decision making. I must say that the end product of a data, of a report or a dashboard, or the end product of data to the reporting stage is the fact that what it can be used to make informed decision. So it's not just about saying, I'm building report alone, or I know how to clean data alone. That data now that you have provided, the reports that you have done, how well can it be used? Because if it is not useful to be used for making informed decision or for making strategic decision, then it's just as good as you've just done nothing. So one of the key things that one needs to understand is in storytelling is that what we need to engage the audience. I need to see a report, or I need to see maybe a data, maybe a dashboard, for instance, and I need to be glued to it that, wow, so this and this and this are what is happening within my organization. This and this and this are my maybe my sales report for so period. Wow. So this is good. So you are telling me that this particular product, this particular brand is what is giving me much money. You are telling me that this particular customer is my cash cow. So that means, what can I do to make sure that I tie this customer down? What kind of advertisement should I do to focus on this particular demography of people that happen to be my customer? So these are why the audience need to be well engaged. So just to read the content of what is there. It says storytelling transform raw data into compelling narratives, capturing the audience attention and keeping them engaged. So the whole process it has to what? Keep them engaged. So that means there needs to be what? An introduction. There needs to be a body, which is the context. You need to address, okay, what is the problem statement of what this report entirely is stating? How am I addressing the problem? How am I solving this problem? What are the what have I been able to now explore with the data that have been given? Then finally, what can I recommend that will be able to make either your audience now, which is maybe the C-level executive, maybe their stakeholders, or maybe they are the team leads of your department, or it can just be a client. If you are doing, maybe you are doing freelance work, or you are doing, you are a freelancer, as it might seem. So you need to do what? Right from the first part, which is the introduction, you need to be able to captivate your audience. The second one is what? Simplify complex data. We all understand that most times we work with data as large as very large files, especially if you are dealing with data in databases, different databases. You understand that nobody wants to go to, no, you will not expect your CEO to tell me that, okay, yeah, get me what database are we using in the organization, and you say, okay, give me the login to the database engine, and let me use my SQL code to say, oh yeah, select staff from so and so. No CEO wants to go. He wants to look, okay, I need to see this and this, and with that, I'll be able to solve complex data. Say, for instance, I work as a data analyst in a particular organization, and I've been given the data to work with, and I say, okay, I want to see in this particular month, what are our top products in this month? Where should we focus our strength on? And which product do you think we can discard? I don't need to start telling the CEO that I think, no. I need to back it up with with fact. And what is my fact? The fact is that what I've been able to explore the data. There's this saying that's often said that what data won't lie to you. The more you question your data, the more it gives you the more it gives you answer. And that is just it. Why the third one is what it drives action and decision making, just like I've said. The end product is that there must be an action, there must be a what next. It's not just about saying that your dashboard is beautiful, your report is beautiful, I like the color grading. No, it has to do what it has to spark a question for what next. Where next are we going? What is the projection? Where is our forecast for the next Q3 or for the next 5 years? So it needs to spark the, decision making and drive action. So a powerful data story doesn't just inform, it motivates action. So I move forward. So now I'll be talking about understanding our audience, identify your stakeholders. My own wealth of experience stems from the fact that most of the reports I've done, or most of the people which happen to be my audience, are basically organization. Only on few occasions that people I work with, or maybe a customer, or maybe a client, as it might seem. So, like I said earlier, I work in a B2B organization, and we profile our solutions to organization. And then working at my organization, I've worked with different customers, as it might seem. When I mean customer, I mean different organizations ranging from financial industries to engineering industries to whatever. I've worked with banks, build report for banks, build dashboards, and like that. And we need to understand that. And for every step, or for every time we want to embark on a project, there's something we call what BRD, which is known as business requirement document. And that is very key, because the BRD that you are given determines what to be included in your report. So I can say I want to do a financial report now for a financial institution, as for example now, and the BRD they are giving me an attempt that, okay, we want to see, okay, with this, you help us explore our data for this so period and so period. Then with the information you found, or with the report that you're able to get, can you help us make a forecast, or can you help us make a projection on maybe in the next 2 years or in the next 1 year, making reference to the already existing data you already have. Do you get? So those things now, they are already included in the BRD, and our audience are of different levels. Who are our audience? They are executives, they are team members, they are clients. For some of us in our organizations, there are some organizations that some segments of their website, they might have a particular frame that they just give out for their audience to just check some of their report. I could remember, was it SEC or some? I can't remember, either SEC, maybe Nigerian Stock Exchange, or Security Exchange Commission. I can't remember. One of those particular organizations, they have a part in their website where you can see like a report of their year-to-year financials, the one they want to show to the general public at large. And from there, you'll be able to see, okay, they did this year, okay, they did this year. Even as a regular person in the general public, I can be able to look at that report and say, okay, if their finances is like this, okay, I want to project that, okay, maybe next year should be like this, maybe next year should do like this. So because of the fact that they've provided that avenue for me, even me, that I might not necessarily have that particular how will I put it now? I might not have that particular tailored experience in that field. I might be able to just look at the report and say, oh, I think this and this and this, I could understand this and this, because it is simple. And it has been simplified in such a way that even a layman can be able to understand it. The second is that, what are their needs? Is it that they want to make strategic decision, or they just want performance metrics? Sometimes when you engage some customers or some clients, and they just say that, okay, we don't want you to do a forecast for us. We just want you to do a report. We want to see our now. What is our holding now? How well are we doing now? And some, they want to say, okay, we want you to look at our previous data. We don't even want you to look at this year. Start from maybe like 5 years ago. Then we'll not see, oh, maybe we have been making some errors. Maybe we have been making some wrong decisions with that. Why the third one say, how do they consume information? These are the things that you need to know from your audience, that you are doing that you are giving them you are doing the report for. Is it that they want a report, or is it that they want it in form of presentation, or they want it in form of dashboard? There are some organizations that they'll just say, just build dashboards for us. They want to be monitoring the performance, especially maybe engineering companies. And maybe they say, okay, maybe a particular boiler or a particular machine is supposed to do a particular amount of work in so hours. And so maybe the person that is imputing it, that is doing the data entry, as is doing it, you just create a dashboard for us. I want to be able to sit at my office as the head of the, maybe is a brewing or company now, or maybe it's one of these brewing companies, and say, okay, as the head of the brewing department, I want to be able to monitor the dashboard and see, okay, within so maybe within this particular month, we have been able to, our machine has been able to generate so and so amount with so and so manpower. Okay, if we increase the manpower, can we be able to do this? Can we be able to do that? You already understand that your audience has told you what to do. They just need a dashboard to be able to monitor what the performance of the machine. And with that, you should be able to know, okay, this are what I'm going to do. So going to the next point, defining your narrative. Why storytelling matters in data analysis. So we have key elements of a data story, which is the context, the conflict, and the resolution. Why the third one is what? Crafting a clear message. The context is that what is the context of what is that particular problem you want to address? What is that thing? What really builds up your aim? What builds up your aim to say, oh, I want to give a report on this? You know, sometimes you just go into Kaggle and you just see a particular data set and you're like, oh, this data set looks interesting. And with that, you know, you start playing in your mind and you're like, oh, wow, I think I can do this, I can do that. You know, as data professionals that we are, when you come across a data set, you don't even need to be told what you can get from it. Do you get? But you need to understand that your audience also wants some specific things that they need. But looking at maybe you go through a CSV file, or maybe a spreadsheet or anything, or maybe you're just going in a database and you're looking at the fields and you're like, oh, okay, I'm seeing age, I'm seeing sex, I'm seeing occupation, I'm seeing salary range. With that, is already playing, and you're saying, okay, I'm seeing state of origin, I'm seeing age group, and you're like, so I can be able to tell that, okay, which particular age group is earning the most in this particular organization. You know, with that, it's already telling and it's already giving you like a clue that, okay, these are what I should report on. These are what I should tell story on. Why the second one is what? Crafting a clear message. Your storytelling, as it might seem, has to be what? Very clear and concise. We are going to look into some do's and don'ts in visualizing and in telling our story as data professionals. So we need to understand that it has to be what? Clear and concise. Some mistakes we often make. I can remember when I started working in my organization. Then I started as an intern. I can remember my dashboards were always very, very heavy, even my reports. And my team lead will come here and be like, it's too much. Just talk about a particular thing. People just they don't want you to have, you know, sometimes we often make that mistake and you see your dashboard and you say it's very, very busy. It's just too busy. I can see this, I can see this, I can see this. I don't really know the particular thing you are talking about. If you're talking about age group, let everything, or every visuals or every chart you are speaking about, let it be about it. Not that I'm seeing age group here, I'm seeing salary range here. I say, no. So it has to be clear, and it has to be concise. Is the main thing. What is the insight? Can someone just look at it and say, oh, this is what you are speaking about, and this is what I can get from it? Going forward, now, data collection and analysis. As data professionals that we are, we can see that there are wide ranges of data, ranges of sources that we get our data from. I can remember then when I was doing capstone project and the rest, when exploring data as a capstone project, or you are just doing it to just get yourself acquainted with it, is different from working. Maybe you are working and you are creating databases. Most times when you are just doing it out, maybe you are trying to just build your portfolio, or you are just trying to get your hands dirty. Sometimes the data are already set. You just have to do your cleaning and just get it done. And maybe you are using your Tableau, or you are using your Power BI, you clean it on it, then you build your report. Do you get? But now working and doing a real life job, especially it has to do with data that your manipulations or your cleaning, as it might seem, is a recurring data. Just imagine you now make a mistake. You know that, there's problem already. So those are the things that we also need to look into. So our data collection can be from various sources. Data from, maybe you have an on-prem database running, or you have your database in the cloud, data from AWS cloud or Huawei or Azure, as it might seem, or you have it in different silos. Some organizations still have their data in different silos, in which they have to be using maybe flash drive to collect data from one Excel file to another laptop and like that. But the end goal is, no matter where the source of your data is coming from, what we are looking at is now how to do what, how to get that data and make sure that what we are able to what to make informed decision with that particular data. So gathering relevant data, identify the sources, either your internal database, as I've said, either from surveys, from third-party data. And for those that are very familiar with Power BI, we can see that Power BI has a very, very large open-ended data source, that you data gathering source. So you can get it through the ODBC platform, which is the Open Database Connectivity. So you can get data from it. It's compatible with various organizations' application. You can connect it to maybe an Oracle Cloud DB. You can connect it to maybe SQL, just various ones. So the main thing is just what, identify the credentials for the login. Once you log in, use your Power Query, maybe you clean it or do some transformation as it might seem, and build your report. And with that, you start. And the second part of this is what, ensure data quality. You understand that what, maybe after I've built my dashboard on Power BI and I want to do a report using PowerPoint, when you are doing your report, you are not taking the data one by one. The person that you are doing, maybe you are not going to address the stakeholders. You are going to present your report now to the stakeholder. You need to ensure that what, your data is what has what integrity, and ensure that what, there is data quality. So it's not that you are saying that I think this particular year we are supposed to have 70% win rate, or maybe I think our lead to sales conversion is about 0.001. No, it has to be what you are, as you are speaking with what, with facts, because what, you have done your job. And your job is to do what, is to thoroughly use your tools to do what, to clean the data, exploit it what, effectively. And the second part is analyzing data. So the aspect of analyzing using different tools, we use appropriate method and highlight what the significant trends and the outliers. Look at it. Oh, this one, there's a trend. I can notice a trend that every time in June is our peak period of sales. Why? I think it's because, we sell umbrella, and I think because around that time in June, rain is always falling every day. Then in January is like an outlier. Why? Because January is as if it's Summertime. There's no. So with that, we are able to okay, maybe what we'll do is that from December to January, that's why we'll do what, maybe we'll produce more, so that we'll stock up for June when we experience more sales. With that, you are able to do what you're already trying to do, what, to make informed decisions. You are using with the way you have analyzed and highlighted the significant trends, you'll be able to what, to give that particular business a way to do what, to increase sales for their peak periods, and to do what, and to reduce the cost of production in their outlier period, which I mentioned earlier, which can be January. Going forward now, visualizing data effectively. I know that for every time my department in my organization, we want to embark on a project, one of the very few things we do is that we ask the company for we used to ask them for their branding, their colors, and the rest like that. Because most organizations are always bent on it that whatsoever it is, you need to give us our colors. And I have a theory which I read somewhere that building your reports, as it might seem, you should not use more than 6 colors. Even 6 colors might be too much. But if at all, your color grading should not be more than 6. So you should understand that, most times I understand that we are not graphic designers, as it might seem, because sometimes that I will build some report and my colleagues at the office will be like, this is your color, last song. You don't even know how to blend colors and the rest like that. Sometimes we are more of the technical guys, so we don't really say, we might not really know how to really use colors like that and like that. So it is always good when we just stick to maybe 2 colors or 3 colors. So if you have maybe the deep one as the predominant one, then you cannot have a less or a light color of that particular version, as talking about the other variations. So let's say now I want to do a chart, for instance, a chart of sales per category. or maybe sales per brand. Maybe I'm selling socks, I'm selling footwear, I'm selling what else? Maybe I'm selling wristband and the rest like that. And I want to do a chart for it. And I want each particular categories of those brands to have different color. So I can have like varieties. So maybe my predominant color is, maybe for instance, is red. So I'm now having deep red. I can have different varieties like that. No, unlike having or I can just have maybe like 3 different colors as it's my same. Or like now having like 6 different color, and your chart as it might seem is not looking anyhow. That is not too good. So how do we visualize data effectively? The first one is what? Choosing the right chart. Why the second is what? Following design principles. Choosing the right chart. Most times when we are building our reports, we often see that if it's anything that has to do with comparison between 2 to 3 things, comparison that has to do with proportion, that has to do with percentage, that has to do with ratio. Pie chart is mostly important. You cannot say you are really talking about percentage now. You want to say percentage of male to female. You should understand that pie chart is like one of the best charts to use for that particular category. Unlike someone now using a line chart, it will just look somehow. But now if you are saying that you want to calculate sales now over a particular time, you can use line charts. But someone now calculating sales over a particular time and the person using a pie chart, it's not really giving. It's not really talking deeply about it. Do we understand? So there are sometimes that some customers or our client, as might will tell you that this is the particular chart I want for this particular thing. Maybe after you have gotten your BRD and they tell you that, okay, we want you to say this particular category, help us to express it in this particular chart. That one is on a different case entirely. I can remember there was a time I was building a report, and so I did, it was ratio. So it was a financial report, and I used the donut chart. And I remember when I was presenting to the clients, and the client said, no, we don't want a donut chart, we want a pie chart. And I was like, doesn't donut? They said no, they want a pie. So I had to go back and correct it. So we need to also understand that. That's why I said earlier, understanding your audience is very, very key. So I'll just be showing us some different design, some different visuals, and I will be talking about why they are incorrect and why they are correct. Please, can anyone still hear me? I don't want to seem as if I'm just still talking to myself.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, Tomisi. All right, so we can see on the left here. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. On the left hand side, social customer service. While on the right, you see the same thing. But we can see, looking at this particular one, look at the one on the left and look at the one on the right. We can see that the one on the right is visually appealing than the one on the left. See, although they are talking about, the person is trying to like talk about, okay, their customer service now. How many, the rating that maybe their customers gave their maybe their particular, maybe this is an app or something, I don't know. And it's so that, okay, mediocre 30%, awful. That means our service awful. 15% said awful, 10% said mediocre, 45% said excellent. But you know the way it is now on this left hand side, it is the person is trying to tell a story. The person is trying to communicate something. But the way this other person did it here, gave it what you just look at it and say, oh, 45% said excellent, 30% said mediocre, 15% said awful, and 10% said average. With this, we can see that this one is like the correct approach to it. Looking at the next one, what do Facebook users want from brands? Incorrect and correct. Look at this one now. It shows that what this one now we are talking about comparison. 52% entertainment, 48% discount, 37% customer service. This one is actually very good. But if you look at it, what this is communicating is that it's showing the organization that is as if these guys, do they really know what they are doing? That means they can't attain 100% or what. But look at this here. Although it's also the same value, but when you look at it, it's a kind of different feel. You are looking at 52%, you are looking at 40. This 52% is looking big. It's looking big. You are not really seeing like the efficiency.
Please, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing your screen, please.
Oh, please, can anyone confirm again? Let me know. Maybe I'll try to
You can see your screen. We can
Screen
see
is
your screen,
visible.
I
Oladimeji.
can see your screen.
Please, Oladimeji, don't interrupt again. If you have anything, just put on the chat board and then it will be responded to. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. So we can see here from this particular chart that the one on the right tells a better story than the one on the left. Going forward again, looking at this now, incorrect and correct. I don't know, can anyone just unmute and say, okay, what is differentiating these two charts? And why is the one on the left incorrect and the one on the right correct? Anybody can just unmute and speak.
The title header.
Exactly. That is why I put it on this left here. Thank you very much. Who was that?
Myra sings.
All right. Thank you very much. So that's why I put it here, that is the labeling or the title header, as he has said it. Looking at it here, we all know that, okay, this is a line chart showing sales over a specific period, over a monthly period of time. So we can see here now, the person is too crowded. A fantastic sales season is not needed. Strawberry season never looked better. June looked so sweet. You know, just saying it that strawberry sales by month, it has told this story better. And if you now want to do maybe a tooltip on this particular side, which is representing the peak period, or you want to put a data label, or you now want to put like maybe you are using a chart. What is the name of this chart now? And you want to use your line, your line. You want to put a line chart in the particular chart. Maybe you have a bar chart, for instance, a stack column chart. I now want to add a particular label to this in your line chart there. And you want this to have a label to show it as a peak period. Then it will show. Then you will not have it here that, okay, to signify that, okay, there was a peak period in this particular month, which is June. So having it like this on the right gives what? A better feel. Makes it what? More visually appealing than the way it was here. Looking at the next one, incorrect and correct. Why this might feel, although this is also good, but looking at it, it is the colors are just too much. They are telling the same story. But if you look at this one is more appealing than this one. And this one, look at it, excellent, shows that what it is distinct, shows that particular range, excellent, showing the distinct value for excellence. The second one is mediocre, which is 30%, awful 15%, 10%. We can see that this person is just one color, but different shades of that particular color. And with that, it's not making your report, it's not making it all messy or clumsy. It's not that you're having different color. Only on specific occasions when your customer or your audience wants you to say, oh, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. I've worked on reporting, which, especially on financial reports, in which there are color codes for specific fields that you have to report on. If I'm reporting for profit, it has its own color. If I'm reporting for loss, it has its own color. If I'm reporting for assets, liability, you know, there was a time I did a particular report that was I had to even go and watch videos to know how to visually represent what those values. Do we understand? So these are principles, or these are techniques that we need to do what we need to follow to ensure that the end goal is achieved, which is what to make what informed decision. Going forward again, this is another one. Looking at this, we have top 3 most popular brands on Facebook: Coca-Cola, Red Bull, and Converse. So we can see here, this one, fine, telling the story, a good report. The person has done his job. He has calculated the amount of fans that's like Coca-Cola, or the amount of fans that go with Red Bull. But looking at this one here, with this, it just tells the story and it just gives like a perfect depiction. You know, there are sometimes that you go to, me for instance, maybe on Twitter, or maybe I just randomly go to a particular dashboard. You know, sometimes you see a particular dashboard, they are very, very visually appealing. And I just save them on my phone and I'm like, okay, I will try my hands on this particular one. Most especially if you're using Tableau. Tableau has this nice feeling which you can build nice and beautiful aesthetic dashboards. Do you understand? And when you sit, you say, oh, I would like to also add this to it. I would like to add this to it. And you say, how did this person do this? How did this person do that? Let me do this. Let me do that. Do we understand? And okay, going forward again, looking at this particular chart, average, awful, excellent, mediocre, the same thing here. But what this is doing is that what it gives what an orderly fashion. You know, it is not scattered. So right from the person looking at it, you already know that, okay, excellent is what 45%. It's not as if, oh, I'm looking for excellence here. You know, I think what the person did there was that the person was trying to say alphabetical order. Let me just do it alphabetical order. But in a way, it has not hampered with the visual. It has hampered with the story you are trying to tell. You know, for some reports now, let's say now I want to do what? I want to highlight this particular part and give it a different color or make it more darker. Once I highlight it, it already shows, unlike maybe something that I now highlight here. Now, imagine now that this particular visual, for instance, now, imagine the categories are up to about 10, and you need to scroll down. And I'm presenting this to a CEO, and he's asking me that, what is the percentage of people that say our brand is excellent? And I now have to start scrolling. Sorry for that. And I now have to start scrolling and scrolling. Do you get? And unlike this one, that excellent comes first rather. So we can see that the one on the right is better and tells the story better than the one on the left. So now, how do we now build our narrative now? Like I said, for you to do what? To tell your story effectively, you need to have an introduction. You need to address the problem. After addressing the problem, provide a context, give your data exploration. Then at the end, your conclusion and your words and your recommendation. So now, how do we build the narrative flow? Now, these are the steps. Set the stage. How do you set the stage? By providing what? Relevant background information that sets the context of your data story. You know, sometimes you might have, there's so many times I come across some data reports and I'm like, wow. I remember there was a particular report I saw someone posted on Twitter, and I had to go to the person's Medium to go and finish it. And I think it was on Big Brother Nigeria. Yeah, the last concluded Big Brother. The person did a very fantastic job. In short, the infographics, everything was so on point. I finished I made sure, I think it was about 10 to 15 pages report. And the person, each particular category gave a fantastic job and did it excellently. And what captivated me was that it was the part of it that captivated me. And with that, I'll be able to, it has attached to me, it has made me what? Glued to it. So setting the stage, the second part is what? Establishing a clear context that helps the audience understand why the data is important. So it's not about just doing reports alone. Why should I even read it in the first instance? Do we understand? Why should I even say I want to pick it up in the first instance? Someone can come now and say, okay, I want to do a report on what? Okay, on our president that have assumed the position of office from last year till now. Let me do a report on, okay, his policies. How well have they been able to effectively, maybe, has it been a positive effect on the citizens or a negative effect? You know, someone can just look at the report and say, does it concern me? But now, if you provide a clear context now, making the person understand why this person should see this as a value for him, the person won't say, okay, let me just pay attention to this and read it. The second part is what? Introducing the problem or question. Clearly state the problem or question your data analysis addresses. The point to note is that what for every report you do, you are addressing the problem. The problem can be that you just want to monitor the performance. It's also a problem. Maybe they're having issues doing monitoring the performance. And you're like, no, I need to do what? I need to come in here. Some of us might say, oh, why do I need this? Why do I even need to? You can do, and the funny thing about this thing is that it can be, the data can be as crude as it can seem. It can be as crude as it can seem. You can tell yourself that, oh, I'm not yet working actively in a data space as a data professional. How do I now do this thing? You can just, maybe in your church, you can just be, okay, let me join the media department in my church and say, okay, I have this skill. I already understand the Excel to an instance. I know how to do my my pivot on Excel. Okay, with that, okay, let me see if I can just play with my church data. Where can data come in from church? Number one is the visitor. The guests that come to church on Sunday service, that they welcome them. Okay, look at the location of these people. I'm telling you that you are definitely going to see a trend or a pattern. Look at their age demography and say, oh, okay, this is particular age of people. With that, you can be able to what? And these are what churches are doing. to do what? To tailor their ads or their content to a specific group. That is why sometimes we go online on Instagram and we see some tailored content that is sent to our Instagram. You'll be like, I'm not following this church. I'm not following this organization. I'm not following this person. Why am I getting this particular? It's because what? By the time what they were doing the sponsored ad, Facebook has told them that, okay, there's a particular category of people that this your content will reach better, and they will do what? And they will explore your content and they will send it to them. Me and you now happen to fall under that category because of what? Because of data. The third one is what? Body. Present your data logically. When as data professionals or as data enthusiasts that we are, we don't deal we deal with facts. It's not that you are guessing. No, you are guessing what? Findings. You want to make insight. You want to make informed decision. The insight you get, you want to make informed decision. You are serving as a what? As someone that is what? Advising the organization now. And you understand that what you are saying, you are standing as a place of authority because what you have done your job diligently, and you are advising the organization that if you do this and this, I want to believe you should experience this and this. So now it has to be done what? Logically. Organize your data position in a logical sequence and group related data points together to create a coherent and compelling argument. If you are doing a report now, you are doing an HR analysis data report. You understand that what? You might have a single page dashboard that covers everything. Maybe it's talking about the total number of persons in the organization, ratio of male to female. You know that you have single page dashboard first. Then you talk about, okay, the department now, as it might seem. Maybe you now have like a slicer for department, or maybe it's verticals that they are using, or maybe it's workflow they are using in the organization, like that. Then, okay, the age group of those in the organization, then maybe the location of those in the organization, like that. Then now, if you now want to now do like a tailored report now, so let's say now you are presenting your HR report at the end of the year, say as at FY 2024, so and so, from January to now, our cumulative head count. You know, cumulative head count now it encompasses those that have left and those that are still within the system. Those that have left, those that have joined. Cumulative, this is the amount. Those that joined, this is the amount. You know, when you are doing the reports now, you'll be talking about them specifically. You talk about maybe you're talking about age now. You'll be talking about it specifically. Age in response to department, age in response to position, age in reference to what? To maybe their job role. Sure, you get. So you cannot just say you're talking about age, you're talking about salary. No. If you're talking about salary now, you talk about salary in response to what? I think someone has unmuted.
I want to back and I want to put this thing.
Oh, okay. Nafisat, please, can you just mute your mic? I'm hearing a feedback at my end. Okay, thank you very much, Nafisat. All right. So we can see that it's not as if you are picking age here, you are picking salary somewhere else. No, but you are following it in a sequential manner, such that when I pick it, I should be able to do what? To understand it by the time I'm done with the report and I've read it extensively. Nobody needs to tell me too much again about the organization or about the thing I'm reporting on. I should be able to say, oh, this is how well we have done in terms of what our HR for this year. So next year, this and this are what we are going to look into. So the fourth one is what? Use visuals. Incorporate charts, graphs, and infographics to make your data more accessible and easier to understand. As humans, most times texts are always boring. They are always very, very boring. You know, when you start reading text, you ask yourself, is this storybook I'm reading? I would rather just read storybook. But when you see those charts, you know, those charts does immediately, it just catches your fancy and you are able to just say, oh, this is what I can pick from this. This is what I can pick from that. Then the second part is what? Ensure each visual is clearly labeled and directly supports the point you are making. Yes, ensure it is what is directly supporting the point you are making. It's not as if I'm talking, maybe I want to talk about sales now, and I'm talking about loss or profit. You know, the two, they are not correlating. Why the last one is what's conclusion. So at the end, you do a recap of everything you have done. Okay, after you have addressed the problem, you have given your body, you have used visual to expressively explain what the data. Then now conclusion now. With this, looking at the problem statement, I think when we do this and do this and do that, we should be able to solve this and solve this and solve that. And with that, the audience is be able to do what? To fly with it. So this is like a typical case study, and the introduction is in the past year, our company has experienced a 10% decline in sales. This presentation aims to identify the underlying causes and propose strategies to reverse this trend. So this is like a case study of a typical report that someone wants to do. So we can see the introduction. In the past year, our company has experienced a 10% decline in sales. So this particular exploration now that I'm doing, this particular report that I did or that I'm about to present is to show the causes and do what? And propose what? Strategies. So with that, we can see the body. What are the sales trend? Sales have steadily declined each quarter. Why? So and so. The most significant drop occurred in Q3. Why? Then you now start looking at, okay, what happened in Q3? Was it that a lot of people left the organization, which leads to lower production? Or what can we say that happened that made sure that now necessitated the reason for declining sales trend? The second one is, okay, customer feedback. Customer satisfaction scores have decreased, particularly regarding product quality. So you have found out that now is product quality. Something needs to be done about our quality assurance team. Okay, let's call the quality assurance manager. What have you been doing before that you have not been doing again that has experienced this thing? What are the issues? With that, you're already like solving your problems internally. You don't even need a soothsayer to come and tell you that these are what is wrong with your organization. Okay, the third one is market analysis. Competitors have introduced new products that offer better features at similar price points. That is why when you go through maybe some website, or maybe you do some survey, or you do some website as in my scene, or you do something on some company's website, at the end of the day, they will give you a survey. They are using it to generate what response. They want to know, okay, with this thing that we have provided you with, I can remember that for every time you order on Child Deck, you will fill a survey. It's only if you're not interested. They will ask you about the rider, right? And they will also ask you about the food. And these are feedbacks that they collect to ensure that they satisfy you optimally. And once they see that they're already getting low grades in terms of feedback, in terms of their market analysis, they already know that their competitors, we take their customer. So this is why we should understand that as in the data space we find ourselves, our work is very, very important. There is no organization that doesn't use data. It is very, very important. The other part of the case study is use visuals. Line graph shows quarterly sales trend. Bar chart shows compare customer satisfaction across different product attributes. While pie chart is market share distribution among competitors. Why the conclusion? The primary factors contributing to the sales decline. So this is like a conclusion for this case study, which is showing our company has experienced a 10% decline in sales. So we can see the primary factors contributing to the sales decline are reduced customer satisfaction with product quality and increased competition. So address this issue, we recommend the following actions: improve product quality, innovate product features, enhance customer engagement. And with that, we'll be able to solve these three problems. Because we have our data exploration has shown us. When you are doing your report, it opens it exposes your organization to you. Data won't lie to you. It exposes it to you, and with that, you're able to see on a broad spectrum that these are where we are lagging. So going forward, now what are the tools now for effective storytelling? Sometimes if you have done your maybe you use Excel to analyze your data and you want to do your reporting. Most times, even the ones I'm very conversant with is PowerPoint. You use your PowerPoint to articulately use your PowerPoint to do your reporting and tell your story one field at a time. Another one you can use is Tableau and infogram. There sometimes you pick some articles, or maybe you pick some journals, and you are seeing some different charts. And I think most people that use these infograms are OEMs. OEMs like maybe Microsoft, and maybe they are launching a new product, and they just tell you have different visuals like that, and those different visuals just give you exactly what you need. Looking at those visuals, you're already seeing that okay, these are what I need. You don't even need someone to come and explain more and more to you like that. So now, what are the pitfalls? Pitfalls just generally mean that what are like some of the mistakes that we might make when telling our story. is on data overload. The first one, data overload. Let's ensure and try to do what? To minimize too much. I understand that we want to just, there's sometimes that we often even want to just put it. I want to show them that this, when they are doing it, they need to do this, they need to do that. I want to do, most times I often, especially when you're using Power BI, if you notice that your particular using a dashboard with about 20-page report, a paginated report as in my scene, and you want, when they're checking it, you want them to see some particular thing in a particular visual, you can make use of tooltip, so that when they highlight it, the tooltips just bring it out and show them. Do you get? So maybe you are doing a sales trend now per month, and you want them to also see the number of sales. If you add number of sales, you already see that it will make the chart cumbersome. Why not just do number of sales as a tooltip, so that when they hover on it, they're already seeing the amount of each sales per month. So when they now over on a particular month now, it just pops up the number that make up for the amount. In that way, you have limited data overload. It's now articulate. So the person just said, oh, okay, this is what the person is trying to communicate. The second one is what? Ignoring the narrative. When you are just ignoring the own narrative, when you are being asked, like I said earlier, maybe the particular BRD, and they told you that this and this are what I want you to do for me. And you're like, no. I want you to, this thing too is also part of it. Just stick to the basics, stick to what you have been asked. Why the third one is what? Poor visualization choices. Poor visualization choices. I remember there was a particular time that something was trending on Twitter in which there was a particular organization, government organization that did a particular analysis, and people were like, wow, the choice of visuals are very, very poor. Like very, very poor. And it was just messy like that. And even you see data analysis, you're like, no. There's sometimes you just look at a particular report and you're like, no, this person is not really communicating this same well. I can see what you are trying to do, but you are using the wrong visual for it. And you're like, no. When you want to talk about target like that, and you're not using maybe the KPI target visual, that is another thing. And you're like, no, this thing is not really communicating this thing well. So what are the solutions? Focus on the key insight. So when you focus on the key insight, that's when you can minimize data overload. You'll be able to address the problem now. So what are the insights now that you have gotten now by addressing the problem? So with that, you are not just everywhere. You'll be able to do with that, you'll be able to minimize data overload. Why the second one is clear structure. Clear structure. There's something I used to do anytime I want to maybe start a particular dashboard, a particular report. I try to do to have a picture frame of it. Sometimes I can try to sketch itself that, okay, this is where I'll put this particular part, this is where I'll put this particular part, this is where I'll put this particular part. Then I'll go to the company website, look at their colors, take it on Google, go and get the color code. Okay, look at it. Okay, how will this color code match my visuals that I want to do? Do you get? Just have a clear structure for it. Let it follow each other. For me, if I'm using a particular font, I use that font all through. If I'm bolding the header, I'm bolding it all through. If I'm using a font size, I'm using it all through. And it's like that throughout. So that when someone know that, okay, this is what I did. This is what this person did. The structure, not that this particular you're using a different font, you're using a different size, your background is different. Or maybe you are doing a 10-page report on Power BI, for instance, now, and you see this particular size, you use the size that came with Power BI. Then the next page, you now did the custom size, you now increase the page. Say for instance, now you build a dashboard now for a particular organization and they are embedding it on their website. You get, if it's like a multiple page report now, and a particular page size, both the row, the width rather, and the length is different from the next page, it will look disorganized. It will just be like, what is this person doing like this? So I'll not be zooming in, I'll be zooming out. No, it has to follow a definite pattern and follow a definite structure. Why the last one is effective visuals. Effective visuals. Most people will want you to have interactive. They'll tell you, please, I need your visuals to be interactive. I want it to be interactive so that when I'm saying this, when I'm doing this, I want it to be showing this, I want it to be showing that. So these are common pitfalls that we should do, or we should try our best to avoid. So in conclusion, Effective storytelling in data analysis is crucial for engaging your audience, simplifying complex information, and driving actionable decisions. So by understanding our audience and crafting a clear narrative, utilizing appropriate visualization tools, and maintaining a logical flow, at the end of the day, it's not really about the tool. It's about, see, sometimes some organizations will tell you, or some people will tell you, see, I don't even care what the tool you use. Some might be specific about it, but some will tell you, I don't care. Just help me take my sales data. Especially maybe some people that is like a one-man business, or they are just entrepreneurs or business owner. I said, see, take my data. I will send it to you. I'll send it to your mail. See, just help me. I just want to know what is happening to me. It's as if I'm not making money. Do you get? And you just tell them, maybe it's Excel you are still proficient at. See, I don't care. Just let me know let me just see let me just understand this data and be able to do something to this data. At the end of the day, it's not really about say, it's fine. It's very good if you can combine one or more multiple visualization tools. It's good if you add them with Lucas Studio, add them with Power BI, add them with Tableau, add them with maybe Zoho Analytics. It doesn't matter. But what matters most is that what information are you able to derive? How well are you able to do it to address the problem that your customer or your client is trying to solve? So, and maintaining a logical flow, you can transform raw data into compelling stories. Regular practice, seeking feedback, and continuously improving your approach will ensure your data insights are not only informative, but also impactful and memorable. And this is what brings perfect. See, going back, I think one of the things that is still like not making me to publish my portfolio website is that I'll be looking at all my projects that I've done, like my dashboards that I've built. Looking at it now, I'm already feel like, this thing is not making sense again. I need to work more. When I work more, then I will not publish it, and I will have a good and standard portfolio. And why? It's because of practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you do this thing, the more you be like, no, this one is this one is that. I can remember even some of maybe the report or the stuffs I've done for other organizations years back, and I look at it now, and I'm like, this thing is not. If possible, if I can do it for them again, they will really get value for what they are paying for this time around. Do you understand? Because as at then, it was the limitation I had then that I was able to. It was the level of my knowledge that I was able to do it. But the more you practice, the more you work with more data, work on more data rather, the more you get better at it. And one thing about this is that if you constantly keep doing what you know, you will not be better. You will not be better. For someone like me that works in a consulting firm, you can just be, maybe you are on the call with the organization and they will tell you that this is a particular tool I want you to do. Even if you are not familiar with it, it's just for you to go back and start looking for how to, okay, maybe you watch YouTube videos, maybe you do this, or maybe you do that. Do you get? So at the end of the day, regular practice and seeking feedback, every one of us, we are all work in progress. So it doesn't, where one is just like, this is just like level, just like stages. We are all looking up to someone. I myself, I'm looking up to someone. We are also looking up to someone. There's sometimes there are some people you follow on maybe Twitter, or you just connect with them on LinkedIn, and you're like, wow, if only I can aspire to be like this person. How did this person do this? How did this person? And that is how joining communities help broaden our knowledge. That is why joining communities helps us to do what? To better understand the principles. And that's why joining communities can bring about something like this, bring about a webinar like this for us to be able to do what? To interact amongst ourselves and to share our knowledge amongst ourselves. So just continuing and continuously improving your approach will ensure your data insights are not only informative, but also impactful and memorable. So I think that sums up my presentation today on effective data storytelling. And so I will just open the floor now. If there are any questions or questions or contributions, and if anybody would just like to share their story on maybe their past works or past projects, and so this is the floor for everyone to. So I will just give the mic now to Oluwa to moderate. Thank you very much.
Wow. This is beautiful. I mean, we agree with me that this has been an excellent storytelling. I mean, from the very beginning till the very end, Patrick held us spellbound, as in I was glued to my device. This is a very good one. Amen. See the emojis. People are clapping for you, Patrick. You have done a very good job. Thank you,
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, man.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I mean, you are an excellent storyteller. No doubt about that. You're an excellent storyteller, and it's obvious. It's just obvious from the very beginning to the very end. And then one of the things I saw from your presentation is the experience. The experience. This is not something you read to come and tell us. It is what you do. It is what you live, and it's obvious. It's obvious. Thank you very much for that excellent
You're
presentation. And
welcome.
of course, I'm sure that our listeners and our participants will agree with me that Patrick knows his onions and is very articulate. He's very articulate. Can we just go ahead again? Let's give him his flowers. Let's give him his flowers. Let's give him his flowers.
Thank,
Let's give him his
thank you. Thank
flowers.
you very much.
Let's
Thank you
give him
very
his
much.
flowers.
So I think
Thank
there
you
are
very
people
much.
raising up their hands.
All right, yes. So we are going to be taking questions now. um, you could raise up your hand and then you could type your question in the chat box. So very quickly now, I'm going to call your name just in order which you raise an answer, and then you can ask a question. Please, let's make our questions direct and straight to the point so that we can have as many people as possible ask their question, and then Patrick can respond to the question. So, Joyce Idara, you can please unmute your mic and then ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much. And then that was very insightful. So I have a couple of questions, but I will just start with the first one, which is
Yeah.
from one of your presentation, which you use the line chart, you actually condemned the label on a line chart. So I want to ask, is it a best practice to use a label when using a line chart? Because some analysts will say it is best
Is
to put
it?
in a label. So is
So please,
it
can you
best
rephrase the question?
practice? So is it best practice to use a label, a data label when using a line chart? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
I
hear
can hear
you.
you. I can hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay, so is it best to use a label when using a line chart, or you just let the line chart speak for itself, even when you're not there to present it to the stakeholder? And also, my other question is, take for instance, you're given a data set to work on without a particular problem in mind. What do you do at that point? Do you start doing segmentation, like accordingly, like age, the department, and the rest, or you just do an overview, just a an advice, an expertise advice? Yes,
Okay. So is that all?
yes, please. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Joyce. So the first question said, for line chart, is it okay to label your line chart? So basically, I would say it depends on your audience. I say, for me, what I do basically is, you know, I make use of Power BI very well. Like my own visualization tool, my own go-to visualization tool is mostly Power BI. Like I really enjoy it very well. And one of the reasons why I enjoy it is because my organization is a Microsoft partner. So we specifically always make use of mostly Microsoft products. So that is why one of my main visualization tools is Power BI. So on your Power BI now, when you are using a line chart, for instance, the labels, your X and Y, you get right. Maybe you are doing, let's say for instance, let's pick a particular chart, for instance, line chart. Want to articulate for sales over period of month. So your X will be your month, which is you select your dates, change the date hierarchy to months, then your Y-axis will be the sales. Do you get? So what I personally do is that I go to the Y-axis and I go to the X-axis, and I remove the title. I remove the title on the X-axis, on the title of the Y-axis. But I leave the labels. So on my X-axis, for instance, you will have the month, which is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, December. While on the X-axis, I will have the category of the sales numbers, or the amount, as it might seem, if it's number of sales or total amount of sales. But I don't put title. That is my own way. But I will now have a particular header for the chart, which shows, maybe it's saying sales trend over, I can have it as maybe monthly sales trend. Do you understand? So I just feel the label, just do it to make someone that is not conversant with that particular data you're working with, make the person understand. Do you get? And if you want to now have data labels in your line chart now, I mean, in the chart itself, you can turn it on. You know, there's sometimes that you look at some bar chart and you see the data labels on it. And if you see that, you know, let's say now, if you are dealing with number of sales now, in that instance, it can still contain it. But if you are dealing with amount, and the sales amount is maybe it's 2 billion, 3 billion, you know, it will make your, how will I put it? It will make your chart, it will make it very clumsy. If there is space, excuse me, if there is space to take everything, and if you turn on or toggle on the labels for the particular amount, for each of the month amount, and it will still contain it, and it will not be clumsy, you can. But if you see that when you toggle it on, it will just leave it. Common sense will tell the person that, okay, I can see June. What is the, we all did bar chart and bar chart in secondary school, right? When you see that, okay, maybe sales for the month, and you see that, okay, when you even draw it from y-axis to x-axis, you can see that, okay, it's passing this, it's passing that. If you now want to now highlight the peak period, you can now highlight it, and maybe if you are doing bar chart, for instance, you can now highlight down with a different color. Do you get? So it's just to make sure that it is very simple and easy to understand. Do you understand? I hope I'll be able to answer that question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Then the second
Right.
one.
So the second question now, you said if you are given a particular data set and you are not really told, maybe there is no document backing maybe the problems to address or something like that, right?
Yes.
All right. So one thing is, as data professionals that we are, you know, when you look at data, I used to tell people, the more you look at data, the more you do what, the more you are searching for answer. See, there are sometimes that even after you're done with your report, when you are still looking at the data, see, the more you look at it, the more you want to check something. The more you look at it, the more you want to check something. What I will advise for you to do is that, first and foremost, understand the data itself. Understand the source of the data. Where is that data coming from? What kind of data is it? Is it an HR data? Is it a financial data? Is it data on maybe disease? Is it a medical data? Is it a survey? Is it data on insurance? After you have understood it, that okay, this is data. Is it, you know, sometimes it can just be very random. It can just be maybe they just collected survey. Do you get? No matter what the data it is, it has to do what it has to have a category for you to be able to categorize it. If it's something that you are not even conversant with at all, maybe for instance, especially financial data, you can now go online, go and read about it. You know, you start seeing terms like EBITDA. If you are doing financial data, I think EBITDA means profit. Do you get? Cost of sales, liabilities, interest. And there's sometimes that, since you said already that there's no document to back it up, you don't even know the calculations you are going to even use to calculate some of these things. That is when you have to now go and do your own study. If possible, go to Kragu, go and download some data sets and go and download some report and see how they did some calculation, or check your Google or watch YouTube videos of some financial data or financial reports and see, okay, these are the calculations they use for this. Oh, okay, so these are the to calculate this thing. So with that, you should be able to know that, okay, after you have done your research and you have done everything, then you'll be able to say, okay, looking at the fields now, taking those fields one by one, I think I should be able to do this. I think I should be able to do that. I think I should be able to do it. Then at the end, I want to believe after you have done that, you should be able to now to tell a better story with that particular data set that you are given. So I hope I've been able to answer that question also.
Thank you very much,
Yes, thank
Patrick.
you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. So, Mira Sinks, you could please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Patrick. This is very insightful. At least
You're welcome.
a clearer view of what to use and how to itemize my data has been shown. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have two questions, and the very first
All right.
question is how do I stay relevant as data analyst in my field? How do I stay relevant? And the second question is, would you advise that I join a community, or better still, I go on YouTube to gain my knowledge and I move on with my life? Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much for that question, Myra Sings. All right. So I will first start by saying that I think where I stand or where I work has kind of like giving me like a platform already, or like a platform to be able to, quote and unquote, stay relevant. So I said earlier that I work with SA Consulting, Signal Alliance Consulting, and we are Microsoft partner in Nigeria. Like, we are Microsoft partner in Nigeria. So, and because we are Microsoft partners, there's something we always do. All team members in the organization, because we are Microsoft partner, we need to get ourselves updated with every Microsoft product within our space. Do you understand? So because of the fact that I'm working with a Microsoft partner firm, I need to just constantly. So that's why I said I am standing in a position that is, because I also need to do what? To consult other firms, because my own position is to do what? Is to provide solution in terms of data to other firms. So I cannot get on a call now with a particular organization, because sometimes we handle call back to also with simultaneously with Microsoft. So sometimes some companies reach out to Microsoft, Microsoft send them to us because we are partner, then we come on a call. And when we come on a call, we discuss. So as Microsoft staffs are also on the call. So I cannot be telling a customer something about something in my space that I'm not sure of. So that has always given them made provision for me to always want to get myself relevant. And also there are some things, there are some certification that I must get. I don't know, I understand that maybe some of us might have gotten acquainted with Fabrics, Microsoft Fabrics. So what Microsoft is trying to do now is that they are building a end-to-end solution called Microsoft Fabrics. And what it's doing is that both your data engineering, your data science, and your data analysis will be done in one particular space. You know, before we often use ADF, your Azure Data Factory, or Azure Synapse. Maybe use your Azure Synapse Studio. Maybe you are pulling data from another source. You know, you get it on Azure, and at the end, you now like create a connection in which you build your report from it on Power BI. But no, what Microsoft is basically doing now, they've created Fabrics, and I think was it not the Microsoft build that they did recently? That was in May, and before it has always been in a preview phase, and they eventually launched it. And with that, organizations are reaching out and say, okay, can you explain what Fabrics is to us? Can you do a demo for us? Can we see how we can get this acquitted? So with that, it has given us like that priority to always constantly develop ourselves. And because of that, I've gotten myself certified already as a Fabrics engineer, Microsoft Fabrics engineer. I have the certification already, because what I need to be able to speak as an authority in that space when I'm talking to a client. So now back to your question. Now, how do you stay relevant? How you stay relevant is by what? Checking the trends. See, your first question intertwined with your second question, which is what? Community. See, sometimes you can't do things in isolation. Power BI community, you know, Microsoft has a Power BI community. You get on the Power BI community, you ask questions, you see what people are doing. Either it's Tableau community, just get one community and just get yourself there. Because if you look at the trends of things, you know, I don't know if any of us understand that there's something called Copilot now on Power BI. So what Copilot does is like an AI feature or like an AI assistant that will help you to build reports. If you don't know, maybe you can go and do your research about it. But the reason why most organizations are not really using it, maybe in Nigeria, is because it's kind of expensive getting the feature, because you need to first be on Azure. Your organization workload needs to first be on the cloud. Do you understand? Then from that, you'll be able to do what? To get your Fabric, your Copilot. And before you can ever use Copilot, you need to first buy the Fabric license. So before you know, Microsoft might move Power BI, because as of now, you can get Power BI as a standalone license. Later now, they might still move it under Fabric. You know, you might not be able to use Power BI except you use Fabric. Do you get? So how do you get to know all these things? Is by what? By joining communities, by following trends. Tableau, most of all these organizations, they do what they call releases. Read their latest releases, read their latest blog posts, know the new feature they are adding. On the new a lot of us are using Power BI. If you check it, you will see DAX. There's already an AI that will help you to input DAX if you don't know how to write DAX. There's an AI that will help you to build your report. This storytelling that we keep talking about, if you have the Power Copilot, I have used it, I have demoed it to clients. If you have Copilot on Power BI, you don't need to, you just need to sit down. The way you use your chat GPT, you will what? Import the data either through your direct query or import mode. When you put your data in Power BI, you tell it on your Copilot feature and tell it, okay, I need to build reports with this particular data sets. And it builds the report for you. You tell it builds the report for you. And at the end, you tell it to do what? To give you a narration. All these narratives that I've been talking about, the AI feature will do everything for you. So how do you understand these things? By what? Following the relevant trends, looking out for maybe any visualization tool you are working with, and knowing that what their releases, knowing what and what feature they're already adding to it. Because you know, there's sometimes that we might just go for maybe it's even interview and they ask you that, okay, what is this? And you're like, have they added this? And you're like, so you don't even know. So how we can stay relevant is by just what? Following these trends, following. If you have determined that, okay, maybe it's one tool. I used to tell people that, see, it's not just about knowing. It's good. You can know everything. You can be very good with everything. But see, let people know one thing, one tool that they can call you for. That this, if it's Excel. I kid you not, there are so many organizations that still use Excel. And if you understand that, I used to tell people, Excel, you cannot know Excel. You can't exhaust it. Because that tool is as if the more you enter, the more it's as if you are like, yeah, how did they build this tool? So once you just lock up your mind and tell yourself that, okay, I want to learn this particular tool. I want to know everything. Such that when I'm being asked, I can categorically tell. So you know that, oh, I've turned on their post notification. Anytime there's a new release, I'll go and check it out. Anytime there's this, I'll go and check it out. Do you understand? Then the second one, I will always advise, join a community. Even I myself, I'm in a community. I'm in the Microsoft Fabrics community. I don't know if some of us know this particular data fest that was done last year. Data fest. It was done at Oregon. So last year's one was done at this time. Do you get? So I happen to be in the community that organizes that particular function or particular program. So just join the community, and I will advise you can check them out on Twitter, Data Fest. I think that's the handle, Data Fest. Follow them. They're already planning to organize another one for this year. It's a yearly event, and they also do hackathons. You can participate in the hackathons, and these are you get yourself acquainted with people in the data professional space and get to even know the latest trend and the latest technology, and you'll be able to move on with that. So, Myra Sings, I hope I'll be able to answer your question on that.
Continue talking.
Thank you very much.
Continue talking. I'm listening. I'm enjoying the food. Continue.
Thank you, Patrick. That's an excellent and an insightful response. Okay, so if you have your questions and you're not raising up your hand and you want to put it on the chat box, please go ahead to do that so that we can entertain all the questions. We are running out of time, and they want to quickly make sure that we answer as many questions as possible. So, Adeyemi, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Adeyemi Yusuf. Okay, so I was going to say to Mira Sings that about community, the Data Elite community is also a very strong community that you can be a part of. And of course, having this session we are having today is brought to you by the Data Analytics Elite community. And that tells you the quality of people that we have in that community and the quality of programs that we do. So you can be sure that whatever questions you have, whatever things you have, you can it will be sorted out when you join this community. So currently the link to join our WhatsApp community is being posted on the chats. Please do well to click on it and then join the community. And then once you are in, you can ask any question, ask your question. We have seasoned professionals in that community who will be able to take you by the hand and then lead you step by step on the things that you need to do and then what needs to happen in your data analytics journey. All right, Adeyemi Yusuf, do you still want to ask a question, or was that an error? Okay, I think from where I am now, I can't. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sorry, I didn't know that. Thank you very much. Mr. Patrick, wow, 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 wow. I really enjoyed the show. And all I can say is that you never lose your skills and composure. And I also want to appreciate the light for bringing this powerful presentation. Sincerely, I was glued to my phone. Like I was glued to the screen. Sincerely. I thank you very much. So my question is I during the course of your presentation, you made mention about
Yeah.
using the right visuals. And I realized that most time when I'm building my visualizations, I always use column chart and bar chart interchangeably. And I was like, oh, this is like a perfect place for me to even ask the question. Is there any distinction between column chart and bar chart? I use interchangeably. Sometimes it's even depend on how I want the sheet to be that make me to choose which one I want to use. So I just that's just my question. And again, thank you very much for that presentation. And thanks to DLites for bringing Mr. Patrick for us. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Thomason.
Okay. Thank you very much, Adeyemi. Yeah. So to answer that your question, column chart and bar chart, I think it's almost the same thing with me too. I think I'm more of a column chart than bar chart, but I also use both interchangeably. For me, I see no difference specifically within the two. Do you get? But if I want to, maybe I want to compare with months. Do you get? If I want to compare with months, I used to make use of column chart. If I want to compare with months, if I don't use a line chart, it has to be column chart. But if it is other categories of comparison, I use bar chart. Do you get? I use bar chart, and there are sometimes that your bar chart is more effective if there is no, if you're looking at the width size of your column chart. So maybe the width size, and you see that you just use your bar chart, so you can just scroll up and down to be able to view the particular visual. Do you get? But there's no harm. What column chart can do, bar chart can do it. You can use it interchangeably. I know there are sometimes maybe you want to compare. Let's say for instance now you want to do comparison of maybe brands. Maybe you want to do comparison of brands and number of sales. Sure, you get, and you are using maybe you're using bar chart for instance, and you now also want to put category. You want to also put another how will I put it? Another categorization in it. So maybe it's not percentage of those sales now. Do you understand? So you just look at the one that say, okay, which one will not be too crowded and will speak better to what I want to do? Do you understand? So your column chart, your bar chart, you can use it interchangeably. So the only issue is when you're supposed to use either of the two, either column chart or bar chart, you are now using pie charts. That is where there's an error. Or you are using a slicer. That is where there's already, or you are using a card visual. That is where there's already an issue. Do you understand?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. One thing I can say from this session is that you have a lot of mentees. So when are you going to start your mentorship session? When are we, when is the mentorship session start?
Funny thing is, even me, I'm still a mentee. So
Eh?
I'm looking for mentor.
Ah,
I still have mentors.
yeah. Mentor is looking for mentor. Okay, now. All right, so it's
We
been
cannot be mentoring ourselves. All of us can be. Even Tommy says, you're my mentor. Everyone can be mentoring. Like the thing is that we can just know everything on. Do you
yeah,
get?
sure.
So that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting conversation, and man, I've learned a lot too. But sincerely, I'm serious about that. The joke I just made, you. I'm serious about it too. Don't take my joke for visualization. It's something that we really need to talk about. But yes, we'll see at the end of the season. So I was going to ask you.
All
Um,
right.
Obviously you answered all the questions that I had in mind that I was going to ask you. Your presentation was very detailed and very straight to the point. But now I just want to ask, how does a person start developing this skill? So of course, maybe you have learned Power BI, you have learned all of these things. And now I'm sure from your presentation, a lot of people have seen the gaps in their storytelling skills and then how to make their presentation. So now I want to on my skill. I want to develop it. I want to be a boss like you too. So where do I start from?
Okay. All right. So to answer that, I will share my own experience. Let me. So when I started, so working in an organization where you have a defined JD, as it might seem, as a data analyst, is different from working as a data analyst in a consulting firm. You might be running multiple projects, right? And different clients, different workloads. So it's not as if you have a well-defined JD, as it might seem. Today you are interacting, tomorrow you are having this project with this one, tomorrow you are. So how? Because when I started, sometimes I was having like, what is this? I need to catch up. I need to catch up. I can remember there was a time I was on a call with a client, and the client mentioned one database. I've never heard of it in my life. And I was like, I had to go after the call. I just had to like look for my way around the call, and I was like, which kind of database? And it was I thought the guy made mistake, and it was a very, very legit database. And I was like, wow, because it was the name. I can't remember the name now, but it was the name of a person. That was the name. And so to be able to do this thing is, I could remember the first dashboard I built. I kind of like cloned a YouTube video I watched. So I opened my laptop as it was. I sat down at home that day. I opened my laptop as the guy I was following. If he puts if he removes something, I'll remove it. If he put it, I will put it. Everything he did, the same color, the same shade. I made sure I replicated everything. That was the first dashboard I built. In short, if I even send it to someone, they'll be like, no, I copied that. Maybe I went to download the person. No, but it was because I followed everything. That was how I built my first dashboard then on Power BI. But later, now you start picking up what data sets. See, as data, maybe you're a data enthusiast or you're a data professional. Kaggle, you can't just play with Kaggle. There's no data set that you need in this world. There's hardly any data that maybe a data category or an aspect of data that you want to report on that someone has not done on Kaggle. So you can just go to Kaggle, and it doesn't matter if the person has done it. It doesn't matter if you are copying the person or something. You are just focused on your own growth, because at the end of the day, it's your growth that matters. I can remember then writing DAX then. Like, should I use count rows, or I should use my counter? When should I use my SumX? And you're like, okay, let me use this one. But as this thing is just practice. See, if you keep saying, hey, I will do, just start, just do one first. There is always a word. Everybody that became excellent at something today, there's always a rough, how will I put it, a rough side to it. And when they look back at it, they'll just smile and they just say, okay. Do we understand? Even working internally, because I also build reports, dashboard internally for the organization. There are some old reports that I've done. I'll be like, no. If I have time, I'll go and quickly redo it again. Do you get? Because as at then, that was my level of exposure. But when after looking back now, I see that, these things are no, I cannot do something like this again. I'll even go and check the DAX I wrote and say, no, this DAX is not making sense. And provided now it's not even reports that, when you are doing capstone project or you are doing a one-time project, it's different. Unlike you are doing a project now that maybe you have done a scheduled refresh, or maybe you imported it through direct query, in which is a real-time update. There's sometimes you build dashboard and they are using it every day. Do you get? So maybe they want it to be a real-time update dashboard, so that they click on it, they get refreshed as at that day. Or maybe you have scheduled your refresh, maybe you scheduled one for 12 a.m., another one for 12 p.m., another one for 4 p.m. at close of work, such that maybe the stakeholders, they want to check, okay, as at 12 p.m., how far have we gone? As at 4 p.m., how far have we gone? Do you get? That kind of dashboard is different, because you have to do what? You make sure that for every cleaning you are doing, it will have an adverse effect in the next data entry. Do you understand? Let's say you are working on CRM data now. Maybe you're using Salesforce, or you're using Microsoft Dynamics as the CRM tool, and you build a dashboard, and maybe the MD say he wants to be seeing leads to sales conversion in the organization. You notice that whatsoever you have done, it keeps changing over time. like the report keeps getting updated, getting refreshed over time. Your manipulations, your cleaning, your analysis, you have to come correct with it. Else, any column you delete in that particular data set, it can cause an adverse effect to the report they want to view, that they want to view. Do you understand? So all these things just come through what? Constant improvement. Constant improvement. And I tell people, if you have not started anything with Excel, see, organizations still use Excel. I don't even think there's no organization that doesn't use Excel. No matter what it is, even they are using, they have their database, they have their own database that they are using. Organizations still use Excel because maybe those in accounts, they will still make use of Excel. Start, understand the Excel, understand the basics. It might be when the time you are looking for a job, it's not that Excel Google that is needed. Then once you know Excel, you should already understand Google Sheets, because some organizations also they don't use anything Microsoft. I've worked in an organization before that they don't use anything Microsoft. It's Google. So they use Google Cloud. So everything Google, instead of PowerPoint, they use slide. Instead of Excel, they use Sheet. Instead of Word, they use Doc. Do you get? So, but if you understand the Excel, you'll be able to work with Sheet because it's almost the same thing. Then after that, pick a visualization tool that you feel conversant with, that you feel you can. If it's Power BI, you want to pick. If it's Tableau, you want to pick. If it's Looker Studio, if you want to go to Zoho Analytics, anyone, just pick it. Then later you can now, okay, let me learn maybe SQL. Let me learn this, let me learn that. The first time I tried Python was my organization was when I was given a project to work on. I was had to do create a predictive model using linear regression. That was the first time I picked Python. I used 1 month for that particular project. That was my first time. I've never had anything to do with Python before. Do you get? But it's because of something fueled it, something necessitated it. And that's why I had to go start learning the pandas and the rest. Then I was able to build, in short, after building the particular model, I did it on a web application like that, just to show that, okay, this is it. So the main thing is just start from somewhere. And everybody is starting from somewhere. That's it. The greatest, I don't know if you know this guy. Is it a guy in Cube? One guy on YouTube, he has a YouTube channel. Is it? I think that's his name, a guy in Cube or something like that. I used to watch it for to get some dark learnings on Power BI. Everybody started from somewhere. So just pick up something and start. And also ask questions. Ask questions. There is no how you can be bad, that one person will not even answer your question. Do you understand? So that's what I was just have to say. Yeah, guy in Cube. Thank you, Joy. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Patrick. This is so deep conversation you have had here today. Deep conversation. I mean, we can go over this over and over again. I was going to ask, can we start all over again, Patrick, if you don't mind? We just start.
Time is gone already. Time is gone already.
All right, that's a very interesting one. And then I want to appreciate everyone that has been a part of this conversation today. Oh, we should do night vigil. Oh, no problem. That'll be very interesting. I'm sure it's not going to be a boring moment with you because, like I said, you're an excellent storyteller. You know your onions, and then it's something you do, and so it's just flowing. It's just flowing out of you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was going to ask a question. Do you have a YouTube channel yourself?
No.
Wow.
I don't. So
maybe
about me, I still find myself like a work in progress.
Yeah, everybody is a work in progress, right? But the depth of what you have shared today, man, it's rare to find around here. So if it's something, it might be something I want to consider anyway. Just maybe once in a while. Of course, I know you might be quite busy. Just once in a while, we will just short videos to explain some of these things, and then
maybe not now, because even Ejiro Gene Pepe, I think she has tried to like bring me in since maybe May. I don't either May or April. I've been like avoiding it because I just feel it's not yet time for me to start like handling sessions or speaking. So let me still like cook myself and still get myself acquainted with a lot of things. So when the time is right, hey, I will start, and so that's why.
That means some of us, you have to go back to hibernation now. I'm not talking again.
No, don't be so.
All right, this has been a very insightful session. I mean, value back to back. Thank you, Patrick, for giving this time. Thank you for the awesome this awesome session. We are indeed very grateful. And then for all our participants that have been here today, thank you for joining the call. This has been brought to you on the stable of the Data Elite community, and we are a community of intentional and seasoned data analyst professional. And our goal is to turn you from being a novice into a seasoned data analyst. They're not just the technical skills alone, but of course the soft skills and everything that makes for an overall and a well-rounded data analyst. And I want to appreciate every member of the team and everyone that has been on this call today. Ejiro Ogene Pepe, who has always been our host for the soft skill. Thank you for all that you do. And to our CEO, Oga at the top, Iremidi Olatunji, thank you for batting this vision and thank you for creating this platform for people to learn and to be added for value to be added to us. So if you have not joined our community, please make sure you take advantage of that community. The link to join our WhatsApp community has been shared on the page. Please click on it and then get yourself joined to our WhatsApp group, and then the conversation can continue there. Every question you need answers to will be answered in that space, and then you be sure that you enjoy every bit of the time that you spend with us. So again, the soft skill session is a monthly program, and then hopefully we'll be back here again in July with another interesting topic and another seasoned speaker to again share with us their thoughts, their experience, and then their knowledge in the area of data analytics. And it's interesting to know that Data Alert community, aside the soft skill that we do, we also have our academies. And the one thing that Patrick emphasized in the course of his conversation is the fact that learn a tool, just learn one and be conversant at it, and then let people know you with that tool. And so we have our academies that we are used to train people. We have the Excel Academy, we have the Power BI Academy, we have the SQL Academy, we have the Tableau Academy, and then we have the Python Academy. So in Data Elite community, we have a approach to training, and that is we focus on a tool per time. We don't do combo training, and because we believe that once you are conversant with a tool and you know it in and out, then you can beat your chest anywhere and say you are a data analyst. And then, of course, organizations can begin to request for your services. So if you really want to get grounded in any of those two, then Data Light community is a place to be. Join a community and then you can get to know about our offerings in terms of the training. All right, so I guess it's been an interesting session today, and I have learned thoroughly. I've been schooled again on the topic of conversation today, effective storytelling for data insight. This has been a very insightful session for me also, and I've learned so much. Once again, I want to thank you, Patrick, for giving out of your busy time to be with us this afternoon. Can we have a part two of this, if you don't mind? At another time, definitely at another time, probably on another topic. You have wowed us with your experience, your expertise, and then your knowledge, and then we want to have more. We want to have more of it. Thank you very much, Patrick. We love you, and I'm sure the whole community is saying a big thank you to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no more questions, obviously we've had a lot to work with. So please, everything you have learned today, go back and start working on it. It is not enough that we learn it. Let's start applying them, and then we see ourselves getting better by the day. So come July, the last weekend in July, we'll be back here again for another session of the soft skill session. And once again, my name is Oluwatomisi Olatoye, and it has been my greatest privilege and honor to facilitate and to moderate today's session. Once again, I want to thank our regular hosts, Ejiro Gedepepe, for yielding our seats for me today, and then to our CEO, Eremide Olatunji. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and to everyone, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. If you have not joined our community, don't go. Don't go. I'm watching you in Plasma TV. Don't go. Go and click on that link now and join the community, and then the conversation can continue from there. Good evening, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye. If you don't mind, you can share your unmute your mic, open your video, and let me see your beautiful faces and the handsome faces. Yeah. Bye bye,
Mr.
everyone.
Komisi, you can see somebody is peeping from your side. Tell them to show their face well.
Okay, go and show your face very well. You want to see your face very well.
Hello,
That's my
Patrick. I am Ademola, and I am
oh, I
your
think,
latest mentee. Thank you.
all right. It's nice to have you. It's
I
nice to
like
have
this.
you.
So
Iremide.
you are taking it by force. I like this.
It's nice to have you.
Have a good evening, guys. Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening. Thank you, Patrick, once again. We enjoyed you thoroughly. I mean, it's like we should not let you go. Don't go. Don't go. Patrick, don't go. Patrick, don't go. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.